Of football in this country, and I know a lot of people are now talking about the election, and the question is, when will these elections be held? Who are the people that are saying they will be going for the different seats, and how exactly actually will all this process be able to fare? But of key importance, and everybody will agree, is that we must build football in Kenya. Different strides have already been made. Something else maybe can be able to be done to be able to spice what we already have. But the spirit and the mentality should be that football must grow in this country. And at this particular moment, allow me to bring in one person that is not a new person in the world of football in this country, Tom Alila. Karibu sana, how are you? Asante. How have you been?
Okay, I'm okay.
We're talking about football in this country, and you've been there for a number of times now.
Yes.
Again, you are here at this particular time.
Yes.
Niambie, how will you say football has been run so far, and do you think we are heading in the right direction?
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned now, the leagues are going on, and there was a ban. The president was also fighting alleged allegations of corruption.
Yeah.
Those things are now under the table now.
Yeah.
The leagues are going on. I think the other time I've seen they're trying to ink a sponsorship deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as far as we are concerned, things are going on. But there are little teething problems which are there.
Tell me, in your general take, what do you think actually is happening? I know a lot of people now are thinking about the election.
Yes.
And the big question again will be, is Tom Alila again going for the top seat?
Yes, yes. When they call elections, maybe sometimes around September there, we will be, people have been throwing dates that elections must happen on February. I think that is very wrong. FKF constitution is very clear. That's why you see they are quiet. Yeah, I think Nick's term officially will be ending by that time, and elections must be done. Even the FIFA president just took over. He finished Platter's time and is doing his 2 terms. The constitution is very clear that you must do 2 terms. After 2 terms in the same constitution of FKF, Nick and other people whose terms have ended, in that constitution can be vying for different positions, in that he can vie for NEC member or a chairman of a branch. That is the way the constitution is. Yeah. So the constitution, there has to be a according to the FKF constitution, there has to be an AGM which should be called, and then in 6 months' time they have to put in what we call an electoral board to ratify issues of election and electoral code of conduct. So these dates which people, even the ministers got no authority to call for FKF election, it's really clear. That will be subject to government interference because the constitution is in place.
Yeah, and we know actually we've been somewhere actually our government has interfered issues to do with Football Kenya Federation, and we went to the bad books.
Yeah, it's the carrot federation president is dangling. He's very careful about that with the government. But election, we have a constitution which was passed by FIFA. You remember when he ratified the elections, the FIFA constitution in 2017, even though they have been toying with an idea that he has not served 2 terms, I think he's finishing his 2 terms in around September there. So they have to call an election. There's no two way about it. Elections must be done, but we must follow the constitution of FKF. Even these people running around at these county associations must be members of FKF. If you look at section 46 of Sports Act, which they keep on hanging around, it is either or. So they must be put in FKF, they must be admitted as members of FKF. But as far as I'm concerned, it will be those 95 delegates who will be choosing the people who will be running for different posts. I know the branches term should be ending before, Nick's term should be ending before the branches. So the constitution is really clear about this.
From where you're sitting, and from your own perspective, what do you think needs to be done from now moving forward as we gather up, as we prepare, as we think, as different stakeholders come on board and think about these Football Kenya Federation elections?
I think we need to stick to the constitution because there's an office in place, and I think the president should now put leadership in terms of making sure that the elections will be done in a more transparent manner when their term ends. It should put all the considerations in place so that, like according to the Constitution, 6 months before they need to have an election board and then ratify those electoral code of conduct so that we can have a fair election. Maybe they are toying about issues of CAF. You know, CAF was given, we were just given, the bid was just accepted. It should not be something somebody should hang on at the broad CAF. Whether there is CAF or it's in 2027, and yet there's still going to be a final inspection for Kenya now for us to now say that we are hosting. Because all these infrastructures must be inspected by CAF. So we were given the bid. The bid was accepted on planning purposes. This one Kenyans must know. We still not have the mandate to host until all the final inspections are done. So.
But you should be optimistic at least.
Yeah, I'm very optimistic. It's a big thing when CAF is coming to East African. 140 million funds. Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania will be rotating. It's a big thing. And for my point of view, it will be bringing the integration of East Africa. It's for the first time that CAF is being held here. And I'm very optimistic. The coach has this time his work cut out. He has 4 years to prepare a team. Local organizing committees should be in place. I've seen the Ministry of Sport and they have already formed committees with the Department of Defense to take over these infrastructures. So we have enough time. It's not something that should be, Kenya is a big country and I think we should be able to be hosting those 8 teams. Which every region will be hosting.
Now, let me be a little bit specific and change this conversation a little bit because I know you're interested for FKF presidency.
Yes.
A lot is happening in the national team. Let's talk about Harambee Stars. What needs to be done to make Harambee Stars tick, or to better it, or just to continue doing what needs to be done for this Harambee Stars national side? I'm
not very happy with Firat, the way the selection of Harambee Stars is normally being done. I think it's a prerogative of the coach to be choosing people coming in, but it should have a national outlook. It should have a national outlook in that there are some members of FKF that some teams, or you will see there's even crying, oh, Mala is top scorer, yet he's not been included into the team. But it is the coach's prerogative to choose. It is his mandate to know which people are supposed to be coming into the team. I mean, selection of Harambee Stars should not be a thing that should be used, that it is done by proxies, or it should be serving different purposes for what we call cronyism. You know, that you just bring in cronies around. They need to have a national outlook. That is the problem I have with the selection. Firat now is now the national coach for Harambee Stars. His work is cut out. Women football has been doing very well. I mean, those are the issues that I'll be running on if elections are called. You've seen the women, you saw the World Cup of women now, it was done in a, you saw the participation was really high skill. And also our women here in Kenya are really doing a lot in football. And those are the things that needs to change.
You're talking about the starlets, and I know when we think about women's football, a lot of people are saying maybe for the very first time the potential in women's football starlets, to be specific, is far much higher. If we give them the seriousness that they deserve, maybe the ladies football will be able to go very far.
I think the federation was also struggling. There was COVID, and then there was the ban, and they had to put their things in order. You saw even in the title sponsorship for the league, there was no prize money. And I think they have just inked a deal. But transparency is key in all this, which means that the stakeholders, which are players, need to know what are there in those contracts. So we must put a lot of transparency and zeal when we are signing these contracts. The ladies team apparently has been doing very well. they need to be given support, and sponsorship needs to flow for them. I mean, Qatar World Cup, we have just finished. Each federation is getting $1 billion Kenya shillings in parts. So I think much of those finances should be going into all those issues. Even though we had a setback during the ban, but now that is water under the bridge. The federation should be able to do more. To tackle these issues of women football.
What needs to be done? For instance, so if Alila is given the opportunity when that time comes, what needs to be done to be able to change this narrative in women's football? Yeah,
I'm running on 3 principles. If elections are called at that time, to revamp, especially women football, FKF is generally a regulator. They need to have those committees which people were elected to do their work, so that we can deal even with these issues of match fixing and all that. But I want to run on the premises of bringing football back to Mashinani. We have 47 counties. You know, the people who elect us in FKF are only 95. And more emphasis should now be given to counties so that we can have a good program going on. You've seen, we keep on doing, I saw on your preview, coaching licenses and all that. We are doing CAF A, B, C. Where do these coaches go? We still go looking for foreign coaches, yet we keep on having coach clinics here. We need now to have them be utilized in all these counties so that they can do, they can be able to bring development on football. We cannot keep on coming here to be talking about the same things about football, yet we have been given all the tools. The FIFA, CAF, you know, they have all those programs running in and they are funded. Yes. So sponsorship in top tier league is my priority. You've seen the way the top tier league is stagnant, you know. Coaching, yet we keep on doing coaching all the time in this country. Those are the things that I want to change.
Are you happy with the Azam deal? We're talking about football.
I'm not happy with the Azam deal because the stakeholders still don't know what is in that inked in those contracts. The federation should, since football stakeholders like players, clubs, they need to know what are in that contract. And the federation has to show them that these are what we are signing. It should never be shrouded in secrecy that it's something that is being used for businesses and all that. Sponsorship is good, but let them be transparent and give the teams so that they know what the federation is signing. Because the federation is a custodian of football in this country. Yes.
When we talk about deals and the different partners and sponsorship that come to support the different teams that we are having, what do you think needs to be done to better that and at least maybe utilize what we have properly?
Transparency, that is one key. It means that we need to be transparent with the funds we get. As a regulator, you can't be a one-man corporate where maybe one person decides. Even I remember even in one issue in where I come from in Migori Youth, there has been a problem where funds entered, yet we have leagues and competition committees which should be able to dealing with matters arising during matches. They must let the committees work. It cannot be a one-man show because this is their member. He's a voting member and he's also in the NSL. They need to listen to all those things. It's about people being elected who have football at heart, not people who are coming to do business. You need to be a regulator. Government is the biggest sponsor in sports and in football per se. You can see His Excellency, the President of this country, has put his foot forward to make sure that the CAF, the AFCON, which we are going to have in these 3 countries, happens, because it's a big thing for the country, for the integration. So the issue is transparency. We need to get this right. That's why if the elections are called, those are the changes that we want to make.
You know, you're talking about the FKF deal, and we know that it's almost a $1 million I think it's a 7-year deal, 5 years to add 2 years, but we're getting around 14.5 million annually. At least we can say that's transparent enough, or do you think we need to know more?
What I'm saying that even the stakeholders, the players, need to know more what is in it. Probably the federation has plans to be showing the clubs what the deal entails. But you see, when it is shrouded in secrecy, it's a big thing and it's good when you get sponsorship. But transparency is the key with its members. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying it's bad. There has not been any title sponsorship. We have had sponsorship before, even with the Nigerian betting companies, which collapsed. So those are the issues that they need to improve on, or we will improve on when we are elected. I'm not saying it's bad. You can see even the league that ended, there was no title sponsorship money. You can see in AFCON, the matches which are going to be played, if AFCON starts, the winner is getting almost, it's clear, it's $4.4 million for a winner. So those are the issues that we need to be putting to the public so that they know.
Because playing without winning anything, you're playing for nothing.
Yes, there cannot be, players are the most, they are the biggest stakeholders. There cannot be FKF without players. There cannot be FKF without all those members. So they need to be treated right.
Let's talk about development of football, and this is from the grassroots level moving up. And while at it, I know we have different academies and different stakeholders. Some are companies, some are former players, trying as much as possible to say that we have a setup that will say our under-16 team is working, our under-20 team is working. And FKF has tried actually to make that a reality.
Yes.
Do you think focusing on these young boys and girls, you will see what actually our under-20 team did against Angola? There is a lot of potential coming from the younger generation.
Big potential, and there you give credit where it's due. I think the Federation has been trying very much to put those programs in place. Curriculum in schools, you know, it should be now an integral part to these coaches that they keep on training in CAF licenses. Integrating them to make them work. Then Kenya is a sleeping giant. You can imagine where I come from, Nyanza and Western. Like now Nyanza, there are only two teams, Shabana and the one which I promoted, Moroni Youth, which was Wazito, and it changed its name to Moroni Youth. It's a shame, you know, for the last time, when I was elected, we used to have 4 teams in Nyanza where I come from. Sony Sugar, Moroni, Agrochemical, Western Steamer. For the last 6 years or 11 that they have been in office, there's nothing.